There are so many different character types in anime and manga, so many different ways for us to be involved mentally and emotionally to the plot because of the diversity in the cast. One Piece does such a spectacular job at giving all of us a little something different in each and every character, so no matter where we are in the story, there's someone for everyone to enjoy. Today I'm here to continue my thoughts on the Straw Hats and talk about one of my and many other people's favorite characters, Wano Zoro, the stoic and immovable force of the Straw Hats, the glue that keeps the captain grounded, and the enforcer who will do everything in his power to see his captain succeed, even going as far as to giving up his dream. Although Zoro is a very interesting character and adds much needed hype to the story, there are some who only see him as just that, just hype. Zoro is truly more than that. He's not just a fighter, Zoro is truly misunderstood. If you guys have made it this far into the video, I just want to say that I appreciate you, and if you want to like the video, I'd really much appreciate that as well. The like goal for this video will be 500 likes, and if you want more content like this, make sure you subscribe and turn on post notifications. Let's get into the video. Most times in the community of One Piece, where there are agendas involved, Zoro can be criticized as a character with no true substance and someone who's only good for a fight. But through the use of one of Oda's most powerful weapons, we see that this just isn't true, and that Zoro was much more than that. The flashback is something Oda utilizes often in the pre-time skip to develop his characters and show the viewer who they truly are, and although Zoro's was a bit smaller in comparison to some of the other Straw Hats, it made up for it and how influential it was to his character as a whole. As a child, Zoro trained at a dojo in the Shimotsuki village, and Zoro stated in the Baratie arc that once he decided that he would become an invincible swordsman, he left his life behind. Even as a child, Zoro was strong enough to defeat most adults, but he could never defeat his friend Kuina. This is the daughter of his dojo's master, Koshiro. After their 2000th fight and Kuina's 2000th victory, Zoro challenged her in private for one more match with real swords. Although he had improved tremendously since their first match, he still lost and he cried with frustration, telling Kuina about his dream of becoming the world's greatest swordsman. Hearing this, Kuina confided in Zoro, telling him that she shared the same dream, but she knew that she could never attain it. Her father had told her that girls could never be true swords masters and that her fighting potential would decrease as her body matured. Zoro, annoyed by her defeatist attitude in spite of repeatedly winning against him, told her that one day he would beat her because he was more skilled, not because she was a girl. The two of them made a promise that either of them had to become the world's best swordsman. The next day, Kuina suffered a fatal fall down the stairs at her dojo, much to Zoro's anger and disappointment. He realized that she would never have a chance to fulfill her dream. Zoro took it upon himself though, asking Koshiro for her sword Wado Ichimonji, and began working to develop his signature Santoryu, holding his own two swords in each hand and Kuina's clenched between his teeth. Now from an early age we can see the dedication in Zoro. Through his closest friend Kuina, he would find an everlasting passion in becoming stronger to fulfill his dreams. Oda's use of Kuina as motivation for Zoro was, in my honest opinion, a great decision overall. We see that these two characters sharing the same dream would facilitate the need for Zoro to become stronger, not just to prove to Kuina he would be better, but to also prove to himself that he has it in him to become the world's strongest swordsman. In Zoro's mind, if he can't even surpass his rival Kuina, then he has no chance at surpassing the rest of the world in his journey of being the greatest. And it's because of that need to surpass Kuina that we've seen our first glimpse at the tenacity and dedication in Zoro, something that we'd see time and time again throughout the story. And don't worry, I'll bring up some of these moments in the video. I believe out of everything that motivates Zoro though, the death of Kuina was truly the biggest one. Because now Zoro not only is chasing his dream, but by using Kuina's blade he is inheriting her will as well. Now Zoro has a dream of two people, his own and his closest friends. Zoro is working hard for two people at this point, and I truly believe because his dream is one that is heavily related to strength, he can at times be boxed into someone who is only relevant in the story because of his fights. But there are things about Zoro that make him important to the Straw Hats, but most important to his captain Luffy. In a lot of ways, Zoro is the anchor to Luffy's character, and a lot of people like to compare Zoro and Sanji's character, and I think that's because they have similarities but also big differences. Like Zoro is the person that I said will protect his captain and hold his captain down, whereas I know Sanji cares about his captain, but Sanji seems to be the protector of the Straw Hats. I think what's interesting about Zoro's actual motives and what he wants to do for his captain is that he will hold his captain to a high esteem. and that no matter what, he will never let his captain falter. If he ever feels Luffy is faltering or not in the right mindset, Zoro was always the one there to make sure that he's straight and make sure that he understands that if he can't be the captain that Zoro needs him to be, that Zoro will leave. That is how much he believes in Luffy. He knows that Luffy will never falter enough to actually leave, but he definitely means it when he says it, and I respect Zoro's character so much for this. Luffy in a lot of ways has done some of the things he's done because of Zoro's influence. Zoro makes sure that no matter what happens, that Luffy understands, hey, this is not a pirate's game. You are a pirate captain. You're chasing the dream of being the pirate king. I need you to act like it. A great example of this happens in Water 7. Everyone knows about Water 7 and Enies Lobby, some of the greatest arcs in One Piece, but it has a beautiful story involving Usopp and his insecurities. Usopp felt like because they had to replace the Going Merry because it was faulty and falling apart, that he could be replaced as well. And because of that, he didn't want to let the ship go, and he ends up challenging Luffy in a duel for the Going Merry. Now, the fact that he challenged his captain is something Zoro could not forgive, and he makes it clear that after this fight has happened, that Usopp can never come back to the crew unless he apologizes, and if Luffy lets him come back without apologizing, that he would leave. In this moment, the crew and especially Sanji are against this, and they are acting as if Usopp has learned his lesson and that he can come back to the crew, but Zoro says no. Because Zoro understands that if we let this slide, if we let Usopp do this, this could be something that can happen again with other crewmates. We have to set an example, Luffy. We have to let them know that this is not okay and that this will never happen again. By not allowing Usopp to return without apologizing and standing up to his captain Luffy in this moment, Zoro shows us why a lot of people feel like he is second in command and why people respect him. Again, he is being the anchor for Luffy. He is keeping Luffy grounded. Because if Zoro wasn't there in that moment, Luffy being the happy-go-lucky person he is, he may have just let Usopp back on the crew without even apologizing. And that would make it seem like Usopp could keep doing these things. So in this moment, I think it's beautiful because yes, Usopp had insecurities. Yes, I do feel sympathy for him, but Zoro let it be known that we are not playing a pirate's game anymore. This is not a kid game. Usopp chose this as a man and he has to deal with those consequences. This conversation of protecting Luffy is very, very relevant though, I feel, at the end of Thriller Bark with the nothing happened moment, which is, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful, if not the most beautiful moments in One Piece, because it didn't just involve Zoro, but also Sanji. Zoro is basically putting his life on the line and he's pleading with Kuma and saying, look, please don't do anything to my captain. Do something to me instead. I am going to be the world's greatest swordsman. My dream is just as important. And I'm putting that on the line here for him. Sanji's telling him, no, don't do that. Your dream's important. Take me. I'm going to be important. I'm going to be a big threat against the world government. In this moment, you see Sanji and Zoro putting their lives on the line, putting their dreams on the line for their captains. They are willing to never have their own dreams just so their captains can actually see his. And this shows true loyalty within the crew. And this shows how much Zoro and Sanji care about their captain. And once again, this is pushing in more dimensions to Zoro's character. Zoro does have good written moments. People feel like he's one-dimensional, that he's not interesting. Well, here we have a moment where it's not about just fighting. It's about him putting his life on the line without being asked to make sure that his captain succeeds. And this moment is called the nothing happened moment because Zoro gets asked after this what happened and he says nothing. And what's beautiful about this moment and him saying nothing in this moment is because he didn't ask for any recognition. He doesn't want anyone to know. He's doing this purely for Luffy. The fact that he made sure that no one knew what happened in that moment lets us know that he's not in this for any fame. He's not in this for any pity or any recognition. He's purely in this to make sure his captain succeeds. And I think that that's something so beautiful about his character. There's true beauty in characters that not only bring about pure hype due to their strength alone, but can also touch the viewer with their undying loyalty and dedication to a cause. Yes, you can say Zoro may be someone who is most useful in combat. However, a lot of times we forget about his most important qualities, the ones that allow him to put any and everything on the line to make sure his captain survives any encounter and will strive to be his very best. In a lot of ways, Zoro is the person who brings the best out of Luffy. Zoro wants nothing more than to see his captain truly reach his true potential and continue being the best version of himself. And that's why he's so tough on Luffy. That's why he won't ever let Luffy falter or get off task. It's not because Zoro is trying to undermine Luffy as a captain. It's because Zoro understands how special Luffy is and how high the bar is for him. So much so that Zoro has told Luffy, as I said, if he ever falters, that he is going to leave the crew. So many people have issue when Zoro says things like this, but I feel they don't understand that it is from a place of love. Zoro isn't saying that because he plans on leaving. He's saying it because he knows no matter what, Luffy would never allow it. He will simply listen to what Zoro was saying and then act accordingly, showing Zoro and the rest of the crew who he is, the captain of the Straw Hat Pirates. As Zoro continues his journey to be the world's strongest swordsman, I honestly can say that him being the character that he is will lead him to an epic climactic fight with Mihawk in which he will win. But I think the most important thing about Zoro isn't just his fighting capabilities. Sure, that is his most relevant feat, that he's strong and that he can defeat strong enemies. However, I do think that this notion and narrative that he's one-dimensional is kind of just false. There are so many different branches to his characters, moments where he has emotion, moments where he sticks up to his captain, moment where he's going to put his dream on the line, moments where even recently in Wano he has taken control of the situation and once again has made sure that Luffy is safe. He jumped in front of a sovereignty combo attack from Kaido and Big Mom, and he's making sure that he blocked this attack, yes, to save the other supernova too, but to mainly protect his captain. Luffy is very important to us, one of the most, if not the most important characters in the story to us, and because Zoro cares about Luffy, I care about Zoro. And I understand that Zoro isn't just purely cutting things. That's not all that he can do. And even if him cutting was the only thing that he can do, he not only cuts the flesh of his enemies, but he also cuts the heartstrings of all the people that love him as a character. Thank you all for watching this video on Zoro. I hope you guys like this character analysis on how I feel about his character. And if you did, make sure you comment down below and let me know what's your favorite thing about Zoro. Also, my Discord link is down below. Make sure you click that link in the pinned comment and join the Synsei Grand Fleet server. As always, I hope you all are staying safe and healthy during these trying times. This has been Synsei Inc., and I will see you all in the next video.